Hello, my petals, and welcome back to another episode of the Roze Garden. I am your host, Tabla Rosa, aka La Rosa Negra, or Black Rose if you're nasty. And today's episode is going to be about going away to predominantly white institutions, aka PWIs, in an episode we're calling Saplling Transplant. And if I could English, that would have went much smoother. Today we have with me again my lovely dearest Giselle. I said
I couldn't work my phone. Like I pressed it and it just like I got a text at the same time, so like my phone delayed.
the unprofessionality. Off with her head.
Hey, I'm the most casual professional individual you will ever meet.
You're literally the equivalent of a Larry Saltzman from Vampire Diaries, but like sans the vampire hunter.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
God damn it. You all ruined my
I'm
references.
gonna take your word for it.
We've got my favorite black fighter in crime, Kat. Hello. Hello, hello.
Hey, hey, hey! Black power, black power!
And last, but certainly not least, Lotneast. Because, again, we see it not to be able to English. Lotneast.
You are struggling.
You know, I really am. I blame it on that shot I took before we started.
I'm professional.
Not at all. Not even remotely. We've got my favorite homo, the one that's been here before I was all of this gloriousness before you today. You're welcome. You're welcome. Lavender.
Thank you, hi.
How are you today?
Yes.
Stop being all cute and shy. Hi, I'm Lavender. If you don't bring up
Hi.
of all the times
Lavender,
to be loud and obnoxious, today is the day. This is the day.
You gonna let her get a word in or what? Cammy?
If she would ever, oops, drag me later, we're gonna get this right. Their pronouns are they, them, theirs.
Oh, you're right. Apologies sincerely. Let them talk, Cammy. Let them get a word in.
Says the one screaming
That's
right
funny.
now.
Actually, as you were saying that, my parents came in and were like, hello. So, yeah, so you might hear a train in the background eventually. So there's that. And I'm a Scorpio.
Okay, so we've got a Scorpio in the building. Let's just hope with everything going on, we don't get rage or sadness. Cause I don't have a violin today.
I got a glass of wine so I can take a sip.
Shit, I got tequila. Let's do this.
Me deuce.
So I think it's
Have
only
we-
appropriate. We start with the PWI we all attended. Who wants to start?
Our host.
Damn. You're not wrong. Okay, so
Because there's a car going off.
you know what? Since Macy Gray Jr. wanted to be talking so much shit, I'm snitching on all of us. Myself, Giselle, and Kat all are either alumnus or current students at Chico State. Lavender, where did you go?
I went to UCSC, Clem, swear, that's it.
One more time, sorry. One more time, very slowly.
For sure. Can you hear me well?
Yes, now.
Now, yes.
It was coming in a little bit choppy before.
Okay. Okay, I should probably speak like the god day. Okay, I went to USC and the U sucks. Fun them that I think fun the police the U and then like yeah yes
We're defunding colleges, defunding the police. Everybody gonna be broke.
I'm already broke. I don't need no help.
Are you a cop?
No, but I'm a teacher.
At a predominantly white institution?
Oh, you're right. Wait, am I?
Are you?
Give me a minute. I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
I haven't been placed yet.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I guess I should ask the most obvious question. Has anyone here had a good experience at a PWI or any good experiences?
Yes.
Ooh, Kat?
Ooh.
Carter Scholars for Black Excellence.
One time for the one time.
One time.
Get it, girl, get it.
Carter Scholars was an experience.
I mean, like, I haven't had a bad experience. It just also wasn't. It was an experience. That's it. There should be no adjective or modifier. It was just an experience.
You know, I'm glad you had that luxury.
Yes. That's a privilege.
It really is.
It is a privilege, and it is one granted to me by being a humanities major in a department ran by the only black that was, when I applied, ran by the queen of Chico State. She's just now the dean.
Okay. So, also within the humanities department, maybe it was because I'm within the music department specifically, nothing about my experience was ideal or pleasant or perfect. I, my dear, have been through so much, like, both diplomacy and bureaucracy in the name of inclusivity and fucking diversity and all the different titties and itties. I'm just, yes, you know, really, you turned 12 for a second?
I'm gonna teach high school. You better act like you know.
They said titties.
Oh my God.
You know what? Say something else. I got liquor in me. This can turn into an episode of Girls Gone Wild.
Hey.
Oh, say something else? Something else. I'm good.
Good night, everyone. I am going home.
Adios, amiga.
I'm sick of you. I swear.
Muchos besos. Mwah.
Muchos besos.
Culo.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Cammy, you keep doing this to yourself. The only person you have to blame is yourself.
I've done no such thing. I am a saint.
I am a sinner. Have fun with that.
I am the Saint Guadalupe. You're welcome. You are.
I'm La Bruja. Get wrecked.
La Virgin Guadalupe.
Okay, I see you.
It is
With
Tuesday.
your music production experience or your music degree experience, yeah, I did like computer science year at UCSC, and I quit only because like maybe I'm too sensitive, but shit, they're fucking like, what the hell? Like, why you gotta be so rude about like helping you do your homework and just doesn't make sense. You're also probably the only one that like looks like yourself in a fucking room full of white men. Like, and the professor is also probably a white man that also cut you. So it's a thing.
I'm sorry. Oh.
Yeah.
I think I just lucked out because English is a predominantly white woman major, so it was just, white women are surprisingly affluent to the cause. So I mean, aside from cussing out a few white males here and there,
What? Wait.
You didn't have to deal with any passive aggressiveness?
See, here's the thing about that. What other people consider passive aggressive, I am probably blind to, because why would a Rottweiler be terrified of a Chihuahua?
Oh! Yo.
Don't give them the power.
Yo. Okay.
And remember, and Cammie, you've seen me go off about what I've discussed, and I wasn't even provoked. That was just my passion. People are scared to talk to me, I think.
You know.
And again, when you're the only black student in a class full of white people and you're talking about black literature, no one is going to question you, save from the professor. And once you roast him one good time,
everyone sits down.
Right? Everyone's just like, all right, Jazz is just going to go off and we're just going to have to let it happen. And I'm like, hell yeah! You don't let it happen.
Hello, class. Today we'll be discussing the color purple. Jasmine's going to teach today's class.
But see, again, I think it's also just one of those things where, like, I'm not exactly a quiet personality. So my experience is not, I feel like it's set, not off par. It's like set off, not even, it's set apart, because half of the things that I should care about, at some point it's like, well, no one's going to say it to my face, and if they say it behind my back, it ain't going to get to my ears before I graduate, so whatever.
That just sounds like you were ready to fight.
I'm always ready to fight. I am a black woman in English, a predominantly white field with just... Hold on, let me breathe.
Siri, please play Knock If You Buck.
I have to say that in my field, I feel like I didn't care so much about my peers because my main concern was the curriculum and the material to begin with. And that is where I chose to fight my battles. What my peers said didn't mean shit because the fact that, sorry, frankly, this is going to sound really arrogant of me, but I'm pretty sure I knew 80% more than they did when I got there. So,
And how much percent of the black population consumed the school that you attended?
I saw the same 20 black people every day, so I don't know.
So that less than 2%.
Oh, that less than 2%, baby. 456 students, my ass.
Right.
I thought it was 487 of us.
That's even worse. Then you give me 30 more people I apparently have just never seen.
You know, okay, so it's clear that when we say PWI on our side, we mean definite, like, it's an MWI, majorly white institution. So, Lav, maybe you had a different experience at UCSC. Was it more diverse?
Was it inclusive?
Quote unquote.
Air quotes.
Diverse.
Was it diverse?
That's the
Was it
thing.
inclusive?
Got used to SE. They're like, they want to parade themselves as being the most diverse now. Like, publicly talk shit. All right, whatever.
You graduated.
Like,
They
We
can't
already
take it.
doing it. Look.
It's because they're like, oh, we're so diverse. We have all these like Hispanic. It's like, what the fuck? That's not a fucking. But like, that doesn't say. I don't think that says much about a person if you say like you're Hispanic, like it's your ethnicity, you know, like, but they do that so they can like get more money, and then I'm just like it's surprising from the stats that y'all were talking about how they're like black folks at the school as well as at UCSC like percenter, so they would still want to be like, oh, we're there. It's like, nah.
You know, I feel like, and I'm going to really say this, and you can drag me if you want to, I'm ready to fight at any time. I really am. California.
No, I'm with you there.
Especially Northern California standards for diverse and inclusive are diverse and inclusive for, say, Nebraska, Montana, somewhere in the middle of America that no one's ever heard of, probably never visited, and knows nothing about. For California, for you to be claiming that this is a diverse school, for you to have 2.5% black people, and then for your Latinx population to be 50% of the school and yet still predominantly white, because white people, Latinx
Right.
people can be white. Let's take that into account.
Okay, no, but for
Right.
your school to account for 34% Hispanic, 2.56% Black, 1% Asian, and then considerably less than that for Pacific and Islanders, that's a problem. And you claim that is diversity. No, honey, that's not diversity. That is approximately, maybe, potentially putting a little bit of food coloring in the white paste, hoping that it'll turn something other than a pastel pink.
I'm glad you've got your snickerdoodles other colors. It's so cute.
Look at the sprinkles on those golden brown cookies. Look at that. Is that a pink one? Is that a pink one?
Oh my god.
No.
This cookie has like 2 chocolate chips in it, Karen. You're so bad.
Karen, did you frost the very tip of your vanilla cupcake frosting? Is that yellow? Is that yellow?
Oh
wait, no, that's like lemon. Oh, that's not spray. You just sprinkled some lemon zest.
Oh my god. What's in this cookie? Is that cinnamon? Cinnamon I detect? Just a hint. Just a dash.
Is that like a sprinkle of nutmeg? Oh, this is too spicy. I can't do this.
It's a little too diverse
All the
around
white
here.
kids.
And what they don't tell you about these diverse spaces that they're moving you to is that once you get up here, the people didn't get a memo that you were coming, so they're bringing you up here, and they weren't looking for you in the first place. So like, oh, it's y'all up here now.
They protested. They angry. Taking up too much space
Woo.
in their white lives.
Listen. Oh, this is my experience in Chico State. But I worked at this cool ass little bakery. It was cool. It was a cool job. But I was also one of 3 Black girls in there, and all 3 of us wore glasses, colored our hair, and watched anime. So I'm over here like, so there's a quota being filled here.
You fit the
And there was
part.
one of us in each department. It wasn't like we all worked together. It was just one in each of the 3 departments. And it was like, okay.
That's we've got the minority opinion. Can we?
Oh.
As far as I know, there are only about 8 or 9 Black faculty in this entire institution as well.
And most of them are
I only know 3 of them.
Most of them are still enslaved to their white masters at that. So we really only have just a few, count on one hand, Black faculty that are actually pro-Black and teach from an African perspective.
And then from there...
How's UCSC on that front? I mean, all 3 of us are from Chico State, so we
just
sharing
shitting on
experiences at this point, honey. How is UCSC there?
And they can't take my degree.
Like,
I'm not worried about them taking
Like, how
mine.
in terms of like how many like Black professors there are.
How many teachers of color are there in general? They don't even have to be Black. Let's just take a head count.
I think it really varies by department. I think they're very segregated at UCS. Like I think they really are. I think that was like I'm saying, friends and I would talk quite a lot, like how things are just kind of really segregated at UCSC. Where they like a bunch of the faculty or the Black students in college called Oaks are very far away, like out of the way from everything else. Just the way the geography. It's really not surprising that are kind of, but overall, like in terms of in general, I would say the humanities filled with like. If we're not going to count white passing folks, like, yeah, no, there was not a lot of like in people. Maybe there was like professors that that showed up in like computer science, Latin American studies, and then sociology classes.
So at this point, I should just be asking if any of your professors showed up to class with a sombrero on Cinco de Mayo.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh. No, that didn't happen.
That sounds like a yes.
Oh my god. My first year, it was so stupid. My white professors really let the ball drop on this that was led, and the white kid going at it, just being like, appropriation doesn't exist or whatever. And he really dropped them. So that was the thing. Yep.
Tag me in, coach. I'm ready.
Oh no.
My institution failed me.
Yeah. Literally all the non-white kids were just astonished. Like, nothing said. And the white girl that was speaking was like, why didn't any of them, like, what?
So, tagging on to the same topic of cultural appropriation not existing and white professors not doing nothing, on top of that, I can one-up that. I'm not gonna name names or tell the course because...
Oh no, I thought that we were just not doing that to begin with, so let's keep this up. They haven't confirmed my degree yet. I need a couple more weeks.
Oh, they confirmed the bill. You didn't get that bill letter? They said we got it, but we holding it until you pay us.
Be like, look, I'm already 20 grand in debt. I done the extra counseling. You better sign my paper.
Okay, release this COVID.
Okay, so we're not gonna name names because we want y'all to still get y'all degrees because they're playing games. But
they hella playing games.
An unnamed white professor within my department with a very apparent accent. We'll say that.
Okay.
Amidst conversation in class one day, brings up the I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember. Give me just a second. Here we go. Halloween 2019. That's what it was. Yep, because 2020 hasn't come yet. Halloween 2019. Dressed up. I'm in class. I showed up as a nerd because I had 4 different costumes that day. I did a whole unrolling. You can find it on Instagram. We'll talk about that later. Hey! Because I had to do this thing. I'm like, 4 costumes, 1 pair of pants. No costume, no problem. And I decided to wear the nerd one to class. Very simple. Power Ranger t-shirt, suspenders, nerd glasses. Very easy. We're talking about the costumes. We get to mine. He's like, what are you? I'm like, I'm a nerd. He's all like, oh. And then we started going on a different class, talking about different costumes. And he said he got flagged by someone in his department for calling one of his coworkers a witch because apparently it was something that was something like sexist, and he made a quip about that and then went into this whole conversation of, I don't even know how we got this segue, but we started talking about cultural appropriation and how it's okay for people to appropriate cowboy culture, but it's not okay for white people to do, and he brought up the example of the Mikado. I'm like, so if you know it's okay for white people not to do...
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, cowboy culture is an appropriation of black culture, honey.
And Latinx culture at that.
Yeah! Hold on! That's also Latinx appropriation all day, every day. What the hell?
Shh. They don't know that. Shh. They don't know
that. They gonna learn today.
We don't want to pull the rug from under them because if we tell white people they don't have culture, they're gonna cry.
I'm sorry, as a teacher who is aspiring to take a crowbar to Eurocentrism's kneecaps, they just gonna have to miss that rug.
But I'm sitting in class having a full debate and discussion with this professor, trying to explain to him the problems with cultural appropriation and why it's a problem, and I'm having 6 different Connors and Scotts and What's and Bryce's
Mark?
and Collins and Mark's? Yes, all of it's like 6 different one of them arguing back and forth against me. The Asian student in the class, because we were talking about an Asian musical, is quiet, but I keep looking back there because I'm like, I'm not really Asian. I can't be talking about this. So I'm looking back at them. They silent, but they're looking at me, giving me the green light very silently, just like, go ahead.
Listen, I'm sorry. There's just it's. So at the protest I was at this weekend, no names, none of that. Something that got brought up is the fact that African Americans and like black people are just really like verbal about being on all fronts. Like if it's a problem for any of our colored people of color, we coming for it. We don't care because we know what it's like and we got you. So I feel like when you are the outspoken black student in the class, you don't even have, you basically get a pass from the rest of them who are like, I don't want to say it, but they expect you to say it. So go on ahead. Go on ahead.
That's exactly what it was. Everybody knew I was going to be the one to speak up. So I'm looking around at the Asian students. The Asian students in the back of the class going,
He like, get it, girl.
I'm sitting here having this argument, and before I even finish, like, actively explaining to everyone, he cuts it off. He's all like, well, I guess we'll never get to the bottom of this. I'm sitting here traumatized, seething, like, having all this, like, actual worked up angst because I feel like I'm threatened at this point. It's 6 white people. I can count on one hand the people of color in that class, and all of them are not only gaslighting and saying they don't see the problem with cultural appropriation, but thinking it's not a real thing. I'm like, well, what else don't you believe? And so now I'm just sitting there, I'm like, maybe I should go. But then, turn around, I tried to bring it up so that this professor could at least be educated. And so I went to file an anonymous complaint with Student Conduct and Affairs. Tell me why I received a note that said, because I hadn't brought it up with the head of the department or the professor, give her that entire situation, and I wrote out exactly what I just explained to y'all on the little piece of paper. Or not little piece of paper, because it was a whole sheet. And I filled it out, and even wrote a little bit on the side, too. Right. I put in great detail everything that happened. They were all like, because you didn't talk to the professor or the head of the department, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do for you.
Cool. If you could tell, the form explains explicitly why I didn't feel comfortable talking to said professor and or head of my department. Why would I have?
I'm sitting
You're right. Those are steps that I missed, but I came to y'all because those steps were not available to me.
Logic.
You know, if brains really...
The thing about common sense, it just ain't common.
It's really not. But I thank them because at least I got through that semester and got to retake the... I mean, don't get me wrong. I got by grace, mercy of all the spirits and the skin on my back. Because there was nothing else that saved me from being able to continue the next semester. Because I definitely failed that class. Because I snitched on him again in the same form. I'm all like... And he didn't even present a space where students, especially of color, could feel as though they could ask him questions. Because anytime we brought up anything, he acted as though we were getting on his nerves for not understanding.
Who?
Sound like a whole lot of white-splaining to me.
It's exactly what it is.
The caucasity.
Australian white... Oops, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say he was Australian. Whoops. Well, cat's out the bag.
See, I think that, like, in general, being in, like, school, not even just public white institutes, which, I mean, technically almost all of them are public white institutes, but hey, that's the conversation America's not ready to have yet. Anyways.
And the fact that the HBCUs are being populated by white people because they need money to survive.
Twirls, curls, twirls, curls. Twirls, curls in silence. Oh, wait, that's nappy. Ow, that hurt. Stop. Look, I'm trying to hold off. I had a wash day a couple days ago. I ain't supposed to do it again.
Use some good conditioner.
I be co-washing. I had interviews today, so there's hella product in my hair. And I need to wash it out. But we'll get there I'll cross that bridge when I get there, which will probably be Friday.
See, now I feel like
but
hold you accountable
schools
for that.
in general, it's hard to even remotely have these conversations, primarily because there are not spaces built in to do that. And even when those spaces are built there to do that, they're not
Competent?
In the words of Kat, I'm going to steal this from Kat. They're kind of still chained to their white masters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Think they got a seat at the table, but they still starving. They ain't getting fed.
They're sitting at the feet, getting all the scraps.
And it's difficult to even want to have, because when you want to have those conversations, you know damn well that having that conversation is going to ostracize you. It's going to get, when that budget cut come up, they're going to be like, you know who we don't like today? This one. This one.
Yep.
Definitely that one. Big ass red circle.
The rest.
And it's just, they be taking the red pen like, budget cut. You be looking at the paper like, what didn't get a budget cut? The stadium.
The stadium didn't get a budget cut. Not the library. The BSU didn't get a budget cut. The cafeteria didn't get a budget cut.
The BSU didn't have a budget to begin with.
Don't get me started!
They weren't supposed to have a budget. When I tell you there's been a whole lot of money that's been misallocated, that's a different conversation.
Damn. And then BSU just
That's
started.
a whole different conversation.
Not BSU. BMU. My bad. Not
BMU.
I lied to my teeth.
Oh.
BSU broke its
You
tail.
said BSU, and I was like, listen, that's the conversation we can have. Don't get me started.
Oh yeah, you are the former president of the BSU.
I am. And it was painful. It was a damn shame.
Was you the pretty little token black
great
person
way.
they had on the cover of BSU?
They didn't even listen. Running BSU was an experience. Listen, I wasn't even the token black kid, because let me tell you how many things were I was actually informed of. Nada. Listen, I took over the club before semester started. I get an email the week of like, hey, Clubtacular is happening. I'm like, what?
When I tell you, I feel like it's very much on purpose. Any and all establishments, but clubs of color on campus are always the last to be informed, and it's always last minute. I guess in hopes that you won't show up.
Listen, I appreciate, in case anyone from our university hears this, I appreciate what is trying to be done. I can't knock them for that. Both as a student of color, and also as someone who's going into the education field, I feel like I am straddling this line of understanding what there is to work with, but still having to be pissed off about it. And then I have to try to explain my passivity away with the sincere logic, but the intense rage of being 25 is there and ready for the burning.
It just sounds like you need some good Chardonnay.
I need a Chardonnay, I need a Stella Black, I need a tequila, I need a mimosa, I need a screwdriver, I need a Long Island iced tea, I need a Bloody Mary.
I promise you, I genuinely think that these PWIs are driving students of color to addiction too, because can we talk about the fact that most of us party, and it's not even partying because we want to party. Half of us party the semester away as an escape from all the shit we're dealing with.
Let me not tell you how many bottles of wine I downed in my room at the end of a very irritating day. Was like, oh, I'm going to save this bottle for a special occasion. Literally comes out of class, I'm going to drink that whole bottle. Not even going to eat dinner. Not even going to drop my backpack. I'm going to pull it right out the fridge and just guzzle it down. And then I'll deal with the rest of my day.
You know,
sounds like
shoot, I had an hour gap. I walked home, drank the bottle, then went back to class.
Please wait. Time out. You're kidding, right?
You think I'm joking? Okay. Not gonna name no classes, no names. But I had a class that had me super heated after. So I didn't even go to my next class. I went home because the class after I really wanted to attend. So I went home to cool down, drank a bottle of wine, laid down for 30 minutes, then walked back to class. I was so upset that day. And then after I got out of that class, because I didn't have anything else to do, I went home, stopped at Safeway, bought another bottle, and drank that.
Sound like you was dealing with white folk.
I sure was!
Yep.
Excuse me. Lavender.
Lavender, how you be doing? What is your addiction like? How do you cope with the bullshit?
Coping mechanism.
I literally just got from a doctor appointment about and just how bullshit that whole is and just how like the way it is now,
Wait, say that for me one more time.
Yeah, weed. Sorry, my bad. My thing is weed for sure. I have an issue with it for sure, and I literally just got off a doctor, and the doctor was telling me about how since the studies that we have about weed are 2% potency or so, but because the potency are 30%, up to 80%, and for folks that smoke every day all the time, it's in a lot of ways for sure. It's been a thing, and it's been a thing for my friends too. At UCS, the queer community not that big at UCS, and from the folks that I hung around with, most if not all folks were smoking. Me and my friends did hide in the forest and smoke for class.
Damn, y'all hid in the forest and smoked? Y'all had a whole forest?
Yeah. I was gonna make a joke about the people of color getting back to their roots, but
hey, sometimes you gotta cut through and follow the North Star. I can see it in the middle of broad daylight. Look at that.
I see what you're talking about, and I feel like I should validate it solely because I went out there for Lavender's graduation, and when I say we got so stoned, I promise I don't think there was a day that we didn't smoke, and then on top of that, there were a few days that we combined smoking and drinking.
Hey,
that's correct.
I feel like in those alcohol prevention, alcohol EDU videos they make you watch, they really need to address at some point factors for why students are drinking and smoking and doing all these drugs so often. Because a part of it is just the general stress of trying to exist in a space that feels like it is built for you not to. It's hard. It's difficult, especially at a publicly white institute. Being a black student, being a Mexican student, being a Latino student, being an Asian student, I feel like it's hard because whatever background or understanding or club that you get attached to, there's the constant threat of it not existing when you need it.
Oh my God.
It's not guaranteed. I didn't take over BSU man, this is if I don't do it, I took it over because I felt if I didn't, nobody else would, and it would just fall through the cracks. Yep. And no one would bat an eye. And that is a legitimate concern for all student of color clubs. And no one wants to address those. We have these one handful of spaces, you can always come to us. So you have an office. You go in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, and it's maybe 3 classrooms big, but then you go into all these other offices oh, wow, hey, y'all got a chandelier and backseat offices?
Y'all got a whole building? A whole floor?
You have a whole floor and it's just all of you, then we can come and discuss things?
You have a whole... You have an office, you have a break room,
we got a hallway.
Right. We have a hallway where all the people of color are crammed. We've got the tribal center in one area, the student retention center, which is code for we need the people of color that we've brought up here to stay here, so maybe we'll provide a tutoring center for them where they'll feel a little bit more homely. We've got the CCLC, which is another space for make them feel comfortable so that they won't leave. And then we've got the MCGS office and GSEC crammed into one specific building.
And you look at it and they're like, these are the spaces for our minority students, our minority groups. And you look at these spaces and you're like, no, these spaces need to be bigger. Don't you dare sit here, look me in my eye, and claim diversity and inclusivity when it feels like to go to a place where I feel I'm allowed to exist, it's basically jumping my gay ass back in the closet. I don't care that the closet is walk-in now. I want a whole room.
That's exactly what it is. It's a walk-in closet. It's a walk-in closet that's almost at the basement. It's the back of the house where nobody ever goes and we don't really know about it until we stumble into it. It's like Narnia.
And you want to say that there's a front door? And there is, but it is constantly revolving. And if people are coming back, you don't know. You don't know.
We don't.
And it's infuriating.
And then all the different clubs on campus, can we get into that? The clubs on campus that are supposed to be representing the different groups that all fall within this long-ass hallway of varying different sections, GSEC, CCLC, Retention Center, Tribal Relations, so on and so forth. All of their ideas, all of their different efforts to try and keep themselves sane get stolen by the university.
Yes, co-opted. Everything, all our efforts co-opted. How do you all feel, though, being, I'm assuming we're all black queers on this line?
Well, black and brown queers.
Okay, so black and brown queers. With that being said, how did you feel about the space for queers at the PWI? Because I know personally, I couldn't find a space amongst them. It was way too white, and it wasn't enough people that looked like me represented amongst the queer space. And not because we didn't want to show up, because they didn't know how to reach out to us.
Let me be clear. At no university have I attended, have I ever considered, university, school in general, have I considered myself in a place where I would ever attend a GSA meeting or alliance regularly. Yep. I support, I'll go to little side events if I know people are going, but me, including myself, like personally, willingly, not happening. Yep. So my answer to that, there is no space. Hell, the space I done carved out is just my outline in the wall along everybody else. Shit, if I wasn't, I'm happy I'm 5'9", because then people know I'm black and I'm queer there. Because if I was 5'2", it'd be a problem.
Tell them they could keep their roses.
Sure can. Keep them damn roses.
I stole them, though. I ain't gonna lie, I stole them. I made roses.
Don't say it on the camera! Cammy, cut it out! You gotta cut that out! You gonna have to edit that out. You are legally obligated to edit that out.
She goes. She got that bill. Her degree is already made. They can't take it from her.
Oh, you nowhere. Lucky.
I'm going back with my black mask on too.
Okay, how about you? How were your queer spaces in Santa Cruz?
Santa Cruz, yeah, they were definitely predominant for a fact. I don't know. I don't even know what to say because I actually worked as an intern in the research center, and
Can I say his name?
There's a lot there.
Can I say his name?
What happened?
Don't say his name, but that sounds like an experience, and like that's a whole story.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't even want to get into it.
I can't mention our favorite Fire Island white gay.
Yeah, that this so the director that I work with still works there, so that's why that's why I'm like,
Hey, hold on to that confidentiality. We understand.
you're right, you're right.
I just like to push the envelope. You
You're
don't
right.
have to bring it up, but I'm going to push if I can.
Cammy, stop pushing.
I can't.
Before I come,
Yeah.
stop pushing or I'm gonna come kicking.
But the what should I say?
The truth. They can't take
like,
anything from you. You've been gone a whole
is that
year.
the truth is that there is like hardly the resource that students of color are not there. You know, like they're not like acknowledged, and it's not necessarily the director's fault either. It's just like it's just all of it just needs to be rethought. You know, like the way they think about like queer space. It just needs to be rethought, you know, because I feel that like a lot of universities have defaulted to like, oh, let's just do social spaces, you know, and then like, you know, the way you're gonna get the queers out is if you give them food and housing and like all this other shit that they need to survive. They'll want to come out more.
That's exactly what
Ain't that the truth? Snap, snap, baby.
The whole reason I came to Chico State is because they offered me the best financial aid package, and because I was able to find sustainable housing. Because I was freshman year, and you knew this too, because in high school I was homeless. Freshman year, before I came to college, I was struggling to put together everything. They gave me all this money. They said, okay, now that you're getting this money, you find somewhere to stay, and everything else will be fine. Because the way they painted it, especially with the tours, they pointed out all these different spaces and where everything was. And I even got put in a group with I don't want to diss the girl, but it's exactly what it was. She was most definitely a token coconut. That's what she was. Oh. She wasn't an Oreo. She was a coconut. Because I'd like to say you and I, Giselle, are Oreos. We're white when we need to. We've got that chocolate diversity.
I am a white chocolate mocha. Okay.
Code switch.
Exactly. That's
in the house. Karen in the house.
Okay.
Karen can be present at any time. Do you need her? Giselle is here, but Jazz will cut your fucking throat. Giselle will gladly have a very diplomatic and bureaucratic conversation about the topic with you. But Jazz will snatch your weave, honey. Don't test me and don't hesitate.
Exactly. So here's a question. Do all of us believe that is one of the underlying reasons as to why we were able to navigate through the PWIs that we all have attended successfully?
Oh, for sure. If I wasn't an English major, I don't know how the hell I would have got through college.
I'm going to leave that for
the power of words and language that I have developed through my area of study. If I didn't have that, oh, no way in hell I would have got through Chico State.
I'll leave that to the successful graduates because as it stands, I'm still a student. Fair?
I feel like I have to think about my answer a little bit more.
Okay, Kat?
I definitely think that my entire life after going to school with predominantly white people, that it's helped me to navigate and adjust and to overcome the challenges. If I talk like Keontae the entire time and walk like Keontae and was just unapologetically black at every given instance, I'd be locked up somewhere.
Probably, especially out here.
Mood.
So I'm Kat
Locked
Lee.
up if you're not laid out.
Yep, Kat Lee in the building. Hello. Hello.
Ooh, that's a mood.
Mm-hmm. Live, you still need more time?
Lab, hit it.
Yeah. I think it's like partly, I think I at some point just honestly avoided white professors. I think that's what it is.
I really think that comes
Also,
with the territory.
what happened?
I said I think it comes with the territory because I can count on one hand, especially from this PWI, my white friends, and one of them, my actual good white friend, doesn't even attend anymore.
And yeah, also that, and also I feel like just because they are thought of in this day are technically half white. So I'm like, white. So I think part of that is there.
We can move on to our next segment, which is pick and pedals. This is going to be our roundtable Q&A. We're going to take a couple questions from the audience, and each of us are going to tackle it with our own stance on it. So the first one I wanted to address was, do you think it's worth it to actually go to a PWI? Who wants to start this round?
I'll go ahead and start. And I honestly don't think it had any more value or worth than me attending a predominantly black HBCU. Reason being is that it's all a part of capitalism, this education system, whether it's ran by black folk or white folk. So the most important way for me to get my knowledge and empowerment is through Freedom School. And that is not within the education system. So that's my answer.
I guess I'll take next. I'd like to say it's worth it, but if I can advise you to do better than I did, definitely look into your school, and not only your school, but the town around, because I didn't find out about the different travesties that happened in this town to the people of color here, especially the black people, until I was actually a renter in this space where I had paid off my rent, and now I'm like, well, I've paid this off. I can't break the lease, because even if I break the lease, that means I'm not going to get my money back, so there's no winning there. And I can't leave, because if I try and leave the institution, there's no promise that once I get home, I'll be able to transfer schools or pick up where I left off, and that education will actually work out for me. So definitely look into where you're going, and I don't say that as in just the college, because inevitably your life is going to be in that entire city.
Hard agree, actually. Yeah. I think much as it was Kat, right? Kat's your name?
Yes.
Sorry. Like how you were saying, these institutions they're capitalist, inherently they work against us. So I feel that and also how you were saying, Cami, the whole city. Yeah, I didn't even know that the thing with Santa Cruz is that 90% or more of the people that own the houses in Santa Cruz are old white people. And old white people in Santa Cruz used to lynch people, literally. What do you think? I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I would say there's so many factors who have it, and that they don't really tell us about, before going to institution. That is that a thing that I kind of regret, my first years of going to CS and going back to Campani's high school and going back and oh, you should go to UCS. It's great because they want to, I agree, people, education is their path, but I think at some point they kind of tell us, oh yeah, if you get an education, you're definitely gonna get out of this town or whatever mentality thing they're trying to they're trying to project, they're trying to project their biases about. Sorry, oh shit, did I just drift away? It's super bad.
Hold on, you cut out a little bit towards the end there, yeah.
I mentioned our city. You might have to bleep that out.
I didn't even, honestly, it cut out a little bit. I couldn't hear what you were saying. You started to get a bit scrambled. So, for better or
Okay, well
worse.
that's good. That's better. Well, anyway, long story short, I feel that and I think that the teachers in the high schools that work for like low income communities, they're usually not from the community, so they really push what they think is best for community, you know? So yeah, there's just varying factors.
Giselle?
Mm. So I am definitely torn on this question. As someone who spent my very first semester of college at an HBCU, I wish I had been able to stay, but I couldn't afford it. It was also in Pennsylvania. For people living outside of California, I feel like finding an HBCU is more fun because you can get in-state tuition. Uh, but I can't say that going to a public art institute has done me any like real negatives. I'm going into a field that is predominantly white and is predominantly ran by the same people I've had to interact with at a public white institution. I personally feel I can be a lot more calmer in those situations because I've become accustomed to dealing with them. So I think the benefit of it really depends on what your field is and where you're going and what your like specific needs are. Again, I study English. It is a predominantly white field. It is predominantly about white people. Having the access to that information that's allotted to me by going to a public white institution, I feel it makes me better at trying to combat against it because I am more aware of what there is to fight against. So that's my thought on it.
Okay.
And that's just the practical standpoint right there. Pragmatism. Pragmatism? Pragmatism. Whatever. Pragmatics.
You know, we not here. We not. This isn't the episode for the big words. I'll have you back for that one later.
Listen, you can invite me back for all of them, but big words are a part of me. I speak in paragraphs, if you can't tell.
You know, relatable. I can't even say anything. At all of my all of my messages are written like I came from 18th century America as a white woman. My dearest Terrence. Great tidings to you. I hope this letter finds you well.
The daffodils are quite dazzling this evening. They remind me faintly of Camisille. They're reminiscent of our absolute Parisian endeavors. And that's the long way of saying I stayed on my couch the whole summer.
Yeah. Look.
You know, okay. I guess that makes it official. We got 2 yeses. Wait, Fed, did you give us a definite answer?
I would say there's a lot to learn. You know, you will definitely learn a lot. But there is, yeah. I won't give a definite.
There's no
I feel like the consensus is it beneficial? No. Is it worth it? Not particularly. Is it beneficial? It can be.
I think it.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I feel like it's worth it, especially on my end because you're saying, like, for example, the field I'm going into, dealing with all these white people, especially going into the music field and the world of entertainment, understanding how to play the white game and speak the white language really will help me, not necessarily get farther, but really just like understand what they're saying in their code so that I can in turn meet them with the same energy.
Yeah, this is true.
I think it's important if one chooses to, it like just to be very like observant, I guess. I don't know. I'm just aware of it. Like I guess everybody will be once they get there because you can't help but be. But like just oh, just I don't even know. Like at
Just
this
be
time,
aware of where you going.
Very
Look it
yeah.
up.
Yeah, pretty much. And just like everyone to their needs too. You know how you were saying, Jazz?
Yeah.
Just everyone to their own needs. Like,
Yeah.
because for me, the way I started learning was critiquing the white professors. And they didn't have anything valuable to even say at a certain point, to be honest. Because their information updated. Like, just straight up. Like, that's it. Like just update yourself and the way I learned was making fun of them after class with my friends during that smoke circle we had. Like
Um,
I didn't have a
Yeah.
smoke circle. We just had a roast them on the way to our next class circle.
Yeah, so that's my answer to like I don't know, indefinite. Snow, maybe so.
and on that note, we can move to question number 2. Question number 2 is, how long do your touristy goggles last?
10 minutes.
You know, them rose goggles from, ooh, I'm finally in college. I'm on this campus. Wow.
Like the
I give it a
white-
couple months.
Yeah, yeah. After you like, I don't. For me, I didn't really like talk to a lot of white people before going to college, so it was just off to actually have to live with a white person. Like,
Oh, yeah, true.
but
'Cause,
well, how do you remember, Cammy? Did I ever tell you?
You did. You told me how, like, weird and shitty your roommates were, but you didn't go into, like, detail. But also, in your defense, or not your defense, but to your credit, your white friends that you had back when we were in high school were, like, the original, the primordial whites. You had friends from Norway.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But I had never I had never had like an in real life like white friend, like, but I did used to talk to like video game people, and then when I got to college, I got to a friend. So, and he did have his things about him, but he had been learning more. But the thing about it though is that he's just quiet, and I think they're quiet and they don't say anything and they're just like observing. Then this, I don't know, something about this experience with this roommate, and like also just not even like the person pushing a learning stage too, because in South Central it's mostly like black and brown kids,
Black, brown kids, a couple of
like
Asians,
having
and
to
a mixing of
decide, like there's so much space with them, like it really taught me a lot. And honestly, I'm high and I forgot the question.
Hey, it'd be like that.
Kat, how long did your touristy goggles last when you got to Chico State?
It actually happened when I first arrived to Chico, because at the time I was enrolled in Sacramento State University online. So when I first moved to Chico, I was like, wow, these white folk are so nice up here. Till they started calling me nigger.
And this is
Girl, mood.
And that happened within like the first month.
No, really though. Well, it wasn't the first month. I got lucky. I didn't get called a hard R until right around election time. It was in November. I was walking home on the tracks, minding my business. Lo and behold, drunk frat dudes hop out the car. Fuck you, nigga! Go home!
Oh.
Speed off. I'm standing across. Okay, so for my Chico State people, they know where the wreck is. I'm standing literally right in front of the glass panels where the bus stop is, right by the tracks. That's where I am. Just barely out of sight. So it's not like they really even saw anything. But then on top of that, for the people who don't attend Chico State, this is the equivalent of being just right past the window of a building where you would find safety. You're just out of sight.
I'm gonna need a license plate.
I didn't get a license plate.
Right.
I was 17, traumatized in an entirely new city with nothing I knew about. And I didn't cry, but I almost had an asthma attack because I didn't know what to do at that moment. Do I go home? Do I keep walking? I've seen and learned so much about different racial incidences, but I'm like, do I just wait in shelter and try and call an Uber and go home? Mm-hmm. I ended up walking home because it was only a couple blocks away and I was staying at Craig at the time, but...
Chico is just a weird space to be at in general.
No, seriously. I agree. I want to say, for
like,
me...
How long did it last, Cammy? How long were them goggles on?
My goggles had nothing to do with my racial experiences, honestly. My goggles came with a lot of my freedom and homeliness. So I was spending money because I got that financial aid. I had just opened up a bank account, so I'm like, I can be my best queer self. I bought makeup. I was buying hair supplies. I got clothes. I was truly living my best life, and then lo and behold,
hey, that first day impression is part of the importance of college. Hey, that's just new clothes for school. At the start of every school year, you get new clothes.
I've been lacking, man, because I ain't got new clothes in a while.
Oh, honey,
I ain't bought new clothes since I had a job because I was making money and I like spending money.
You right. When
I buy, I ball out. So it was either get a job or don't spend. That was what I learned freshman year.
Okay.
But when midterms hit around late September, early October, and I realized I had enough in my account to cover maybe 1, maybe 2 more months of rent, but not all of it, I was like, Jesus, when I tell you I found religion again so fast.
And it's designed that way. They know what they're doing when they go into our inner cities to pull out the young black students, bring them up here to this big ass town, give them all this money for financial aid. They know that we are going to mismanage, mishandle, misappropriate our funds so they can wash us out all over again and say, well, we tried, master, we tried to save them. The system is designed to keep us down.
It really is. And the thing is, they don't even start the Adulting 101 sessions right when school starts. Adulting 101 doesn't start until, I want to say, at least the 4th week of school.
You see?
You're a full month in, basically, and you're like, oh, you mean after I've already blown half my check on clothes and makeup and
right? Because you get that financial aid money, the week before? Within them 3 to 5 days, that money is gone.
Room. I got posters. They do that on the first day of school.
Albums.
Lav, did you tell us how long did it take for your goggles to drop? Hold on, just a second, Lav. You're kind of cutting in and out.
You are chop.
But like before like right? And
Hold on, baby. Hold on. I say this with love. Your mic is going. The thing goes skitty pop pop. And I need you to pause for a second. Give the internet a few seconds to catch up to everybody, and then.
God.
You sound good?
Good. Sorry.
Oh
Ooh,
no.
she might have to disconnect and reconnect.
We might have to lose it for a second. Okay. Happy lobby music.
Wait, nah, you gotta play the Wii music. Do, 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 do.
Excuse me, I don't own the rights to Nintendo's music. I'm not trying to get.
Well, I didn't even do the beat right, so they can't get you for a damn thing. Hello?
Is it me you're looking for?
Hello from the other side!
That's too many songs with hello.
At least I can say that I tried.
My loneliness.
Anyone who listens, I swear I can actually sing. I just can't remember the lyrics to that song.
I must confess that I'm still hungry.
Experiences at the PWI.
I will say, attending a PWI, I learned about the song Cotton Eye Joe.
I don't want to know
Where
about
did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Yes. That song is apparently about a slave.
That's a shame that I remember that more than the Negro spirituals I've learned.
That's either
I'm
a
upset.
slave or a sharecropper. One of the two. And they be blasting that at all the parties, and all of us are just aimlessly dancing to it because none of us know what it's about. And so we're like, this not white people shit, but y'all getting it. So okay.
Oh wait, when I told you I would have been locked up, I think they would have hung me. Lynching, modern day lynching.
I mean, they started it already.
Hey, we got enough of that on these Cali streets right now. You go down south. Of all the places.
Yep.
True. I decided to get rid of my mic. Can you hear me?
That's deep.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
I'm desperate to like make it work, but it's just not working, you know?
Yeah. So we'll circle back to the question while we seem to have a green light area with your mic. What was or when did your touristy goggles / like rose goggles towards the university and or city come off or end, so to say? Live.
I'm so sorry. My dad came in to give me some medicine. I'm really sorry.
Ay, pa, ¿cómo está?
Oh, he's gone now. I'm sorry. But can you repeat the question?
When did your rose goggles or your touristy goggles towards your city and or university come off?
A week, for sure. Like a week tops.
A week?
Yeah. Because because of the like the folks that were surrounding my roommate, we're just a lot of white girls, and or rather just the group that I was hanging around with was just a bunch of white girls, and I was like, what's wrong here? And then I took a step back and I was like, like
that's what's wrong here. It's white people.
Yeah, especially like when you're young. So my rose goggles were off like once they started, it's like I don't know. I just remember how I feel and just the first week for sure.
Moving on to our
So anywhere from 1 week to a few months.
It won't last past the semester.
Yeah,
it sure won't.
Sure. Yeah,
if it make it the whole semester,
call
it as it is. It'll make it half a semester, if that.
Honestly, truly,
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Was it even really midterms? Where like the money definitely it all set in, and I'm all like, ooh shit, this ain't it no more. But I want to say it might have actually ended pretty soon. I want to maybe 2 months in.
Yeah.
Cause like once you realize
that's about mid half the semester.
Once you get into that class schedule, it's all like, ooh, I'm going to college classes, and then it's like, fuck, I gotta go to class in the morning. I don't want to do this.
Hell, or you go to them classes and you're like, oh, okay.
Why am I in here? Don't want to really be here.
It's so good.
People used to be like, Jazz, why aren't you going to class? Because I'm tired. What I mean, they're like, oh, yeah, you didn't get off till like 4 in the morning. What I mean is, yeah, I didn't get off until 4 in the morning, but I ain't trying to hear his mouth today.
True. And that's,
And that's on God.
Okay, question number 3. Is college really a freeing experience?
I feel like there's a lot of... Are you going?
Nah, do your thing. I started to answer, I was like, wait.
No, go for it.
No, I gotta think about it.
Right.
Ain't no thinking for me.
I was just gonna say, I feel like there's a lot of other experiences that people like romanticize about college that they can get places, other probably much more enriching spaces, to be honest. But yeah, that's my answer. Sorry, I keep moving. It's because I'm high. I haven't been high like this in a while, so.
Hey, enjoy it then.
Yeah.
Is it a freeing experience?
Hell no. To the no.
Nah, I feel a lot. No, and so this is really funny. So yes, so my brother just had a baby. My nephew is 2. He's great. So being like having studied linguistics at this point, I'm all about language development. So on the handful of times I see my nephew, I talk to him in Spanish because hey, I feel smart flexing on a 1-year-old. It's bad. But my brother got mad. I flex on my 2-year-old nephew and speak to him in Spanish. But also, I want him to pick. No one else in my family speaks another language. So I know he's not going to get that kind of see that happen anywhere but for me. So I talk to him in Spanish sometimes. And my brother came at me like, don't teach my son Spanish. He don't even know English yet. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you want him to develop both of the languages at the same time? And in that moment, I realized as the first to graduate from college and the academic of my family, I'm over here like, you wouldn't know the benefit of that. Oh, damn. And it is that moment that I am constantly reminded, ignorance is bliss. Knowledge is power, but knowledge is painful. You can't enjoy things anymore. So it's not a freeing experience. It's a harrowing. It's a harrowing. That's what it is.
It's a rapture.
Like, it's already bad because you be black and you be queer and you be a woman. So you're already looking at everything with this lens. And then they, give you the words for it and you just oh, damn.
They give you the words for it, and they require you to take at least the MCGS class, so then you're aware of all the different names of all the shit they're doing to you, and it's like...
Right, and you done wrote 6 to 7 papers on it, done 4 presentations, attended 3 different symposiums that weren't lectures, and you just damn!
All for making
I
the
miss
jump
when
up
things
and
were
tell
simple.
you your experience isn't valid.
great. I'll be watching Craig of the Creek with all these black kids, and I'm so excited because I don't see no white kids, and I'm just like, oh, one of the reasons I care about this so much is because I can talk about how important that representation is to the psychological development of children in relation to education. Damn! Can't even just be like, oh, look at all the kids playing in the creek. This is a great show.
Cat?
So nah, it's a harrowing.
My dear, do you feel like college is a freeing experience?
Not if they still got me chained, and they do. And they will forever have me chained as long as I cannot show up unapologetically black without any risk for it. So it was not very freeing. Did I act like a fool and get real ratchet? Of course. But that ain't got nothing to do with my black liberation.
That's true. You can't truly be your most authentic self in college, especially as a person of color, without fear of consequence at all times. But then if you put your fear of consequence aside, then it's the matter of, well, since I know I'm going to suffer consequences, how dire am I going to make this? And at the moment where you realize there's suffering, it's either am I going to be compliant and concede, or is it am I gonna rebel and just prepare to risk it all?
Damned if I do, damned if I don't, so fuck it.
Yep, that double burden we carry as black and brown folk in America KKK. But I know one thing, I didn't have my first blackout till moving to Chico. I mean, dang, the drinks. They're so cheap here.
I've never blacked
they
out.
Really,
I can
really
say
are.
that truthfully.
Them shots be like $3, and you be like, "Here's a 20."
Right?
Honestly, the bars here will make you feel rich as hell. You go into the bar, you're like, "Here, I got paid this week. Drinks for everybody."
Everybody, shot.
No, but they like. They hand you the drink and you slide the 20 over, and then they like first time I went to the bar, I slid the 20. I didn't even ask how much it was because being from Sacramento, I assumed it was gonna be like $8. This man handed me back $17.50, and I was just like, "Sir, I think this is wrong."
Wow.
This is.
Oh my god.
I'd be like, "Sir, can you charge me? I didn't order a Sprite. I ordered a whole shot."
The Sprites are more expensive.
Oh my god.
So yeah, if I ever go get blackout drunk, it'll be up in Chico.
I've never been blacked out drunk. Blame it on me being fat, call it a high tolerance, whatever it is, it's never happened. The closest thing I ever got, I've had a hangover one time in my life, and that was freshman year because I did not know what jungle juice was until I had been taking it to the neck. And my friend at the time, Michelle, pulled me to the side, and they're all like, "Hey, you might want to drink you some water." I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm only drinking punch." They're all like, "No, that's jungle juice." I'm like, "What's jungle juice?" They're like, they mix together a bunch of different alcohols and then mask it with the taste of fruit flavoring. This is going to take you out.
Oh.
And then on top of that, I was already too far gone. So then I walked into the kitchen and they were playing Slap That Bag. So the wine bag is in the air and I'm heavy-handed. So that bitch spins so many times and you gotta drink as long as it unspins. It spins out and you gotta go chug, 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 chug. I'm like, okay. So yes.
You set yourself up.
Straight from the tap. Just, they unscrew it into your mouth and it's just chug.
Oh, yeah. Young you and you need to have a fight.
I would do it again. I would definitely do it again. It was just, well, damn. If I would have walked into the party with what I know now, young me would have got even more drunk and then I might have blacked out.
Oh, that's... Here we are. We're going to talk about public art institutes, what you're getting. Here's all the drinks we had in college.
Seriously, public art institutes, and all we have to show for it our collection of Woods and Dutches and like all the different rappers that we collected, our posters and memorabilia, and all the different videos we had of going to different parties and shaking ass and the hoochie outfits, and depending on when you discovered makeup, your brow journey. That's college. That's been college for me. And it's all like, yeah, I went to classes. That's not what I remember. But I know what Jazz remembers from last semester, me and all of that long way.
I remember sending you a photo like, hey, is this an acceptable outfit for a party? And I'm dressed like I normally, and you like, no. And then I spent 45, and then I was 45 minutes late to the party because I'm like, what does she expect me to wear? What do I have? She told me show more skin. I'm tall. That's a lot of skin.
You showed up. I was wearing a one-piece lingerie piece with some booty shorts and a flannel tied around my waist, and I had some black socks up my calf.
And I'm looking at her like, why didn't you just tell me that's what you were wearing? If I had known that this was like what I should have started with, I would have been here earlier.
If I'm telling, I'm like, dress for a party.
Because I'm over there with a long tank top
and
and skinny jeans and a cardigan. Like, this is acceptable, right? And she's like, no.
I'm like, what kind of parties do you go to?
I don't.
And it shows.
I go to work, I go to school, I go to sleep.
I'm mad at COVID because I was so ready to dress you for graduation, and boom, God did you a solid. Because when I tell you I had your outfit in mind already, I was coming.
And when I tell you that you would have had to fight me with the $120 I spent on dresses already, honey, you would have had to fight me in the $120 I spent on dresses already.
I mean, that would have been fine. We would have taken one of your dresses and I just would have altered it. It would have
been honey, it would have been the red one because it already had easy access.
Exactly. It was going to be the dress with the high slit, the low cleavage, and I might have even took your back out.
The back is already out. I don't need y'all that. That's my whole dress. That's my full gala dress.
Is it out? I want to say it comes mid-back, doesn't it?
Honey.
It
back
goes
out,
down?
leg split up to the top of the thigh, cleavage drop. Whew.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun time.
This
Whoever
is
gets to see me rock that dress for whatever event they're dragging me to about to be like, I'm taking her home tonight, and all y'all going to have to fight me for it.
I suppose that would have been acceptable. Underwear were optional, but the only option you had was to wear thongs, because nothing else would have been acceptable.
Wait, what?
I said underwear would have been optional, but the only option you had was to wear a thong, because there was nothing else that would have been acceptable.
You know what? I'm going to need you to stop knocking my aesthetic, okay?
I need you to
my
understand.
Business casual works for me.
This is what my experience at this PWI has been. I have turned into my best sexually liberated self, because I was already sex positive before. But once I actually experienced...
Listen, I'm plenty sex positive, okay? Everything I wear comes off quick. I don't need any help there.
See, but that's because you're a nudist.
I can get undressed in 2 minutes or less.
Nudist for life!
Hold on. Okay, back to public white institutes, because this is turning into blooming.
Oops.
I mean, it's turning into blooming part 2, kind of, yeah.
Blame it on the tequila.
I mean, it's not a lie, though, because that's the overlap there. Like I said, this is what I learned from this PWI. I learned how to survive in white spaces, which is critical to my life. And aside from that, I learned how to have fun obnoxiously, because it distracts from having to survive. It's the Hunger Games,
right.
But you're back and forth between the tournament and that one party that happened right after the games were over.
Man, wasn't there a show where you had a home movie about where you had to escape from the party without dying?
I think so.
I have to look for that.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's on YouTube. It's Escape the Night, I think.
Yep, this is IRL Clue. Someone died. Who did it?
I don't know.
Are you going to help us look? No. That's how I die. I'm good.
I'm gonna stick with the black people. We're gonna stay together. Don't nobody split up. Don't nobody break off.
You know what? No, let me tell you my favorite part of going to a public white institute is every time my white friends or white classmates, only a handful of them were friends, would say, hey, you want to go on a hike? You want to go into the forest? You want to go to this party in the middle of nowhere? I could respond, no, that's white people shit. And they would leave me alone. And the other students of color would be like, yeah, that's white people shit. We good.
Or alternately, you would hear different things about people wanting to go kayaking or floating down the river or whatever. I'm all like, I'm black. We've had enough of being on the water in boats. No, thank you.
See, I had three white people I could guarantee would be more than willing. So when someone would say something, I'd get the look on my face like I'm getting ready to say it, and they know that it will probably be a problem if I say it. They'd be like, "That's white people shit," and I'd be like, "Hey, spoon cool right there. Okay, honey, we can keep talking after graduation."
We're gonna go to our next segment, and this is Jazz's favorite.
Oh, is
Plug in
it?
new roots. This is
Wait, what?
Plug in new roots. Remember when we build our playlist?
You didn't tell me I had to do that.
It's a recurring part of every episode. What you mean? If I gave you that in... Okay, I'm not going to air you out in front of everybody, but just know she was prepared.
Listen, you can air me out in DMs later. How about that? Ah.
You know what?
Listen, my tongue already out. Don't start with me.
You know what?
Anyway.
Bring it back.
I'm getting hot, and I'm not even drinking enough for this.
Let me go.
You need 5 songs, right?
Yes, we need 5 songs. Today's topic, because we're talking about PWIs, instead of talking about 5, you can either do 5 songs you learned in college or 5 songs that get you through college.
Ooh, and this is great because they're all Panic at the Disco.
Can we all do it for just for the one moment? Oh, well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews of a church
corridor, and I can't help but to hear, an exchanging of words. What a beautiful wedding! What a beautiful wedding! Such a bride makes you away. Wait,
what a shame! What a shame! The poor groom's bride is
a
whore.
Groom's bride is a whore.
Whore.
I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of? Cause the goddamn don't know. It's much better to face these kinds of things with the sense of poison. Actually, that fits really well because we do, as black and brown queers in public white institutes, we have to do quite a bit of dealing with the bullshit with a sense of poise and rationality.
Rationality. I the hell out of that song. I couldn't even tell what it was. It was so black defined.
The worst part is, as I'm singing it, I'm sitting here making a whole meme collage in my head. And the culminating moment was waiting so I could put together the Black Youngster clip of him going, whore.
Well, Cammy, go on ahead and plug that in there because that is my I Write Sins, Not Tragedies.
Okay, that's your song number 1.
Panic at the Disco.
Kat, what's a song that got you through college?
We're going to have to circle back.
You need a minute.
I need a minute.
Okay.
You better have my money.
Oh, I know. Private Party by India Ari has been on replay for the past year.
Okay.
Yep.
Lav, what's a song that got you through college?
I want to say Creep, but not by Radiohead, but not the original version. Like, I literally never listened to the version.
Jukebox one?
What was that?
Is it the postmodern jukebox version?
It's various versions. I listened to various versions of Creep, so yeah. including mariachi.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's send us that link. Post that link in the chat. We
And
need
that's
that.
the one that's going in the playlist. That's the one. I want to hear the mariachi version of Creep by Radiohead. I really do.
Oh my god.
Cammy, can I hit you with Start a Riot by Duckworth and Shabuzi? Because after Spider-Verse dropped, I walked into every class. You think I'm playing. I walked into every class that semester with, I want to start right.
No, seriously, I feel
like
you. I feel you.
Giselle, and I'd be like, no, we're starting a riot, my good man.
I see you start a riot, and I raise you. All American Rejects gives you hell.
I Raise You, Am I Wrong by Nico and Vince.
Ew. No.
Oh, why? Why don't you like my boys? I love them. All right, fine. Hold on. Let Me Raise You Way Up by Jaden Smith.
Okay. But did that get you through college?
Yeah. Hell yeah, it did. Listen, between the Spider-Verse soundtrack and the Lion King soundtrack and the Suicide Squad soundtrack, these are the only three things I listen to on a consecutive basis. So Spider-Verse came out like my second semester in Chico State. So that playlist got me through everything. Get up for my 5 a.m. shift, blasting Spider-Verse. Get off my shift to go to my 2 o'clock class, blasting it. Not taking my headphones out in class, blasting it. If you look at my Spotify rewind, it'll be like, here are the same 12 songs you would not turn off.
That hurt so
Let me
much.
just go ahead. Just put that whole soundtrack on there, and that's all of mine.
She's like, just choose 4 more songs from that soundtrack. You're welcome. Kat, what's another song that got you through college?
Big Booty House, pop with it, You ain't nothing but hooch mama.
Hoorah, hooch mama. Yes. Okay.
I'm mad. Y'all got me twerking in my kitchen while everybody sleeps.
Okay. For Kat, I see you and I raise you. Girl, you looking good. Won't you back that ass up? That is the college anthem. If I don't learn anything else, everyone knows when this song comes on, you assume the position. Hands on your knees, toot that ass up, put that arch in your back, and shake like you need to pay your bills. Because you just might.
Listen, you back it up into every person you done looked at the right way throughout the semester. Like, one of y'all gonna get it, if not all of you.
I don't care if you are flat-assed. When that song comes out, you better find somebody else's cheeks. Put them on for a second.
But wait though, pay me.
All right, Lav.
Oh shit. Oh, I was actually in late high school. Cammy and I used to listen to K-pop. And
You did not have to.
yes,
you did.
Yes.
My name is Hannah Baker.
Yes.
Welcome to your tape.
You know what? I had to. Like, we used to listen to should I say it? Shall I say it?
Say it. Don't punk out now.
I will cut you.
But no, we talked about it earlier, so I'll just put that song.
I know your home address. We will fight.
We'll put that song, Sherlock by Shiny.
Wow. Give it up for Shiny.
You saying you gonna cut her and you just start singing it. So now you can't cut her.
Shut up.
No, make me. You won't. You can't. No balls. Get wrecked.
If I was in SAC right now, just know you'd be in a world of hurt.
Listen, and I'd still be talking all the while.
I don't know how intelligible it'd be.
I can talk pretty well with my mouth full. You'll learn.
It's
really funny because I think about people finding this podcast of yours and hearing me go from really intelligent to a raging hoe, all in the span of the same 30 seconds.
It really do be like that sometimes. It really do. Okay, so I guess I'm on song number 3. I would say song that got me through college. Mostly, like, it was a lot of freshman year. I was listening to a lot of Zara Larsson, so I'd have to say "Lush Life."
Okay.
Judge me later, but that song still bops to this day. I would still get my best life to that song. Let me be in a Neutrogena commercial. That's the first song I'm going to tell them to put behind me. I'm going to just splash the water in my face. Now I found another crush. The Lush Life's giving me a rush. I'm going to go in and tag number 4 too, because it's still on my mind and I don't want to forget. I can't think of the name of the song for the life of me right now, but fuck niggas, get money, fuck niggas, get money. That got me through. That got me through the last two semesters.
Then on that note, may I casually add "Bitch Better Have My Money" by Rihanna, because when financial aid didn't hit the day it was supposed to, or that direct deposit didn't hit the day it was supposed to.
Oh, seriously? Because they had technical difficulties. I'm like, oh, you didn't have problems taking the money. Why you got problems running it to me?
So, bitch better have my money.
Cat, Live,
that
wants to go
is
next?
one of my college anthems.
My bitch better have my bitch better have my bitch
My
better
bitch
have
better
my...
have my money.
I have a structured sum.
Bitch better have my bitch better have my shillings.
8 cents for the cash now.
Oh, education connection for free. Get the right degree for me. Get connection for free. I wish I could play. I wish there was like an actual song for that, because that was a bop. I don't care.
I can put that fucking clip in the playlist. The playlist is on
it's
YouTube.
not a song that got me through college, but if you tell me that you didn't watch that on your way up, growing up, and be like, you know what, the education connection lady did it, I would do it too.
Oh, speaking of which, also, for me growing up, if we're gonna talk about like reasons why I'm in college now, I guess this counts. The Black Everest dude. You're sitting on your couch anyhow. Why don't you call or you're sitting on your phone anyhow. Why don't you call? Make a change for your life. Stop procrastinating. It's easy.
They came for you in them commercials. Like, you wouldn't even know what college was, and you would be like, okay, I'm sorry.
I gotta go to college. You sitting here in the middle of the day watching fucking Mari Povich because it's summertime and 12 p.m. You didn't have anything to do. Munching on your sandwich innocently.
Oh, honey, that was days of our lives. I was attached to them soaps.
General Hospital.
Oh!
The soaps,
Teresa didn't have to do all that.
the soaps were my connection to my grandmother.
No judgment.
One life to
Come
live.
home, mama, come home. Mom, you won't believe what they did in Days of Our Lives.
Seriously? And my mom's like, I don't care. I'm like, but listen. Linda, honey, listen.
My mom can say she don't care all she wants. Let her cook dinner. I'd be like, and then, you know what he did?
No, Jazz, what did he do?
Me putting the salt in, he slapped her!
Jazz, it's too much salt, baby. It's too much salt.
Oh, you know what? Mom will wake up tomorrow. I'm going to ask her, too. Like, you remember when I would never shut up about the soap operas I watched while you were at work? With my 8-year-old ass.
Cat, Live, who wants to go next? We're still waiting on y'all songs.
Oh, man.
Think back to your freshman year. What was something that you was bumping to really get through the semester?
You gonna make me show my age. We go back that far. Damn.
Okay. Then, Kat, what was you bumping the day of graduation when you was like, I ain't gotta take no more finals after this. What was the song you played when you got up?
Big old freak. Yeah, big boy freak.
There you go.
I was twerking all through COVID. Learned some new moves.
Live.
I want to say the disco medley of Selena.
Okay.
Yeah. The one where she's like live with the purple outfit and she's like, at first I was afraid. That one.
Okay. Extra fun.
Ooh.
Beanie beanie mama.
I'm gonna say my song number 5 because we've all been there. Was the Lazy Song by Bruno Mars. Today I don't feel like doing anything.
I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone. So leave a message at the tone. Cause today I'm not doing anything. Nothing at all. I'm glad that we all know what's up.
Cause that is a mood. You know you have to go to class, you lay there, you're like, am I really gonna get it?
I can't.
Oh, mood. You know what, Cassie? I got my very last one for you.
Cassie.
16 shots by Steph. No, I said Tammy.
You definitely said Cassie.
If I did call you Cassie, it's because I'm literally going to get on call with a girl named Cassie as soon as this is over. So my bad.
Wow, you're already thinking about leaving me. Wow.
Listen, Cammy, I am a polyamorous lover. There is more than enough of me to go around.
I'm putting you on child support.
And I'm here for you.
I'm putting you on child support.
You don't have a child. Cammy, I canceled my game for you. I've been waiting for this game for a whole week. I canceled it so I could be here for you. So don't be upset that I'm already thinking about the other girl.
Dang.
That's not
You
how
already
that
know
works.
how important you are to me.
That's not how that works.
Don't
But I'll
trust me.
take it. But I'll take it.
You right. You was gonna take it anyway.
You know what? You know what?
What you wanna tie me down?
This
Because I'm still gonna be talking
is
shit.
a Christian family-friendly podcast.
No, it's not, and I can do
We
it.
support
Tammy,
Chick-fil-A.
shit. Let me tell you, Tammy, I can do a lot with my hands tied, baby.
Please. Okay.
Anyway, it's a hard tie between 16 Shots by Stephon Don or Gladiator by Zayd Wolf. Both of those are my get out of bed and go to class anthem.
16 shots? No. I don't know what she said at that point.
That was the song, though. That is my anthem. I still play that when I get up in the morning to remember to go to class. Wait,
to go to class?
I was like, yep, because I'd be like, I'm going to take 16 shots when I get out.
That's definitely not what that song was about, but okay.
I know it's not, but because when I first heard that song, that was the first thing I heard was the 16 shots. It'd be like, shot of water, shot of alcohol, shot of juice, shot of water, shot of alcohol, shot of juice.
If your liver could speak.
It's a good song and it's a good pump-up anthem, so I think that really got me through my final semester. Because just the energy in the song, I'd listen to it in the middle of the day, and all of a sudden, my 12-hour days wasn't shit. Basically, I come out of class, like, I'm so tired of hearing these white people talk to me, and I'm like, like, you know what? They can't say shit.
Okay, so I think we're tapped out on songs. We got Cat and Lav for 2 more, I think.
Shit.
2 more songs, yeah. Ooh. We've been running our mouths.
What's the Paramore stuff? The one where which Paramore song? I don't know.
What, girl, give me the lyrics. I got you.
Same.
I'm just trying to choose which one though. You know, like they're all so good.
There's Crush, Crush, Crush. There's
Misery Business.
Misery Business is always a good one.
Still Into You is a good is a good song by Paramore. And I felt like
Time
I
out.
played that one.
It's your song. Yes, that's definitely your number 4 selection. But I'm gonna ask you, who the hell and what the hell were you into at this PWI? What about So Into You got you through the?
Oh.
I'm gonna need
I don't know. I sung a lot in my ukulele.
Okay, so it's your ukulele that got you through, but that was the song you played on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I'm sitting here, I'm melting from the inside out. I'm like, how the hell?
Oh my god.
Okay.
I've been trying so hard not to just name all the songs I played on my fucking little guitars, I swear. But
yeah, but those are the songs that got you through. Them the songs that got you through, boo.
I mean, I only learned after college, but it still felt like I was like in Santa Cruz after, you know, like I was still there. So like I was still fucking basking in their like okay, never mind. I'm not gonna finish that.
Nah, girl, I feel it. Listen, speak your truth. Cassie, I need you to add Face My Fears onto that list, by the way.
This the second time you didn't call me Cassie.
No.
I expect an edible arrangements in the morning. I expect an edible
I
arrangement.
swear I didn't. I swear I didn't. I swear I said Cammy.
Now just know. Now just know when I send you this playback, I want you to take. I really want you to take a shot.
And when you send me this playback, I'm gonna take a shot, and then I'm gonna do a whole linguistics lecture on why I'm right and you're wrong. So prepare yourself.
Okay. Now when I send you these clips of you saying Cassie, just know.
Are you
When you send them to me, I'm gonna just text Cassie and be like, Cassie, I called my friend Joe name twice in the podcast. She took it so personally. She's gonna beat me so much.
You're not wrong.
It's okay. I show up for domestic violence assaults. I'm a responder over here.
Yo!
Cat, that's some real shit, but I need you to understand, it's not domestic violence if I like it.
I know what you mean, Sam. With consent, beat my ass.
You know what? Mommy!
Go ahead, keep calling me mommy. I'll come see you soon.
Speaking of Kat, since you got so much to say, what is your song number 4?
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Niggas ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Yeah.
Okay.
And last song.
Oh, twofer.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Wrap this up. Nothing else matters. Metallica, Black Album.
All right.
Cammy, I'm gonna beat you up. How dare you not introduce me to Kat? We gonna fight.
Cammy been holding us all secrets. We all secrets, and Cammy loves Hank. I'm loving this.
Oh, because I'm over here like, oh, me and Kat would have got along.
All of my friends get along with each other because y'all all know me, and all of my friends are some facet of my own personality. So I'm just like...
Okay, well, you flipping because you're not introducing us so that we can be small facets of your personality together.
Because I can't make a collective of me.
Oh my god.
You can only do one of you.
Right. I can only take so much of myself in one sitting.
Love it.
So I guess since...
Sound like a police officer talking.
Cammy, you a cop? You a cop?
Fuck the ops. Hell no. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, fuck the cops.
No, not fuck the cops. Fuck the ops. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that too.
Live, you got the last song. You're going to close out this before we go into our final segment.
All right. Shit. I feel like I have to choose a really, really good song now.
I'll put on the Jeopardy music.
Oh no. I know I already did the disco medley, but I do want to do Donna Summer. Um, on the radio. Love cry on the radio.
Okay.
Oh, on the radio. And
Okay.
last dance, last chance, last chance, last chance tonight.
Lav, I'm loving what you laying down, but it sounds like a lot of your college experience was a lot of heartbreak. And honey, do you need a hug?
You know,
Oh my God!
you know, they just might. They just might.
Yeah, you're probably right. And yes, absolutely correct.
So our final segment of the night is gonna be turning a new leaf. And so I want each of you to really dig deep within yourself and find the most truest, the most authentic, the most worthwhile quote you can dig up to lend to people that are still in college. So that'd be me or other people just coming to college, people considering college, people being pressured into college, all the different aspects of it. Just especially those coming to PWIs. What is a piece of advice you want to bestow upon them?
Can I hit this one? Because I already got it.
Yes.
From failing, you learn. From success, not so much. Aunt Billy, Meet the Robinses.
You know what?
Cammy, you think I'm Cammy, you think I'm playing. That is the quote I've told every one of my freshmen, every student I have mentored and worked with, every person I have tutored. I cannot express enough that failure is not bad. From failure, you learn. You can succeed all you want, but the amount of things that you're going to pick up from that versus the things that you have failed at, the difference is immeasurable. If I account for the number of classes I've got an A, yeah, I know a lot. But the classes I took an F in, or I took a D, or I took a C, I've learned so much about myself as a student, about the university, and about the way that I do things that has given me the power to succeed to where I currently am. So yes, from failing, you learn. From success, not so much. And that cannot be expressed enough.
And this is why you don't tell a teacher to give a quote, because now all of us are going to fail to measure up.
Get out of my face. Don't come for me like that, rude.
So you can come at me all episode long, and the one time.
Yeah, basically that's how this works. Were you confused, you peasant?
Now, when you wake up tomorrow with no ankles, just know you brought this on yourself.
Oh, you're gonna tie me up? That sounds fun.
You ain't gonna have no ankles and no knees.
You don't have to get to Sacramento first and know where I live, which you don't.
Who said that? I got salt in a pentagram. Say less.
Come for me. I don't mind being divined by a couple of ghosts. Maybe they'll be kinky.
You know what?
If you call them.
Oh my God! Moving on.
Cat, I love you.
Kat, I believe you had a quote for me.
The truth is on the side of the oppressed. Never.
Snap.
Yep. Never allow them to silence our voices because our lived experiences are the narrative.
All right. Goddamn. Y'all bring in all the juice. I'm just like, should I go home?
I mean, aren't you already at your house?
No.
It's the studio.
I go night-night. I go take nap. I take nap right here.
Live, what you got for us, babe?
The only quote that I'm thinking of right now, because I remember seeing this quote not painted, a paper on the wall, because I think, when was it? Maybe it was 2015 at BSU at UCSC. What was it called? Reclaimed the admin building. and on was a lot of papers taped that said Black liberation is liberation for all people by Assata Shakur. And just like that quote. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm with it.
You know what? And this is the final episode of the Roze Garden. This has been fun, everyone.
What? Wait, no, I still need my language episode, you peasant.
I haven't even given my quote yet. You're fine, but fuck! How do I follow up all of this greatness?
Okay.
I'm just
Follow it up. You can do it. We believe in you. You brought us together, so clearly you are the mastermind.
I'm just gonna give. It's not necessarily a quote, or technically it is. Does it count as a quote if you're quoting yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's something that I've always taught all of my different mentees and babies that I've talked to and advised. Just no matter what you do, and it's something that I got from my mom too. So it's not really quoting myself, I guess I should say, before I go stealing my mom's tag. Because I forgot she was the one who taught me this at a young age. Whatever you devote yourself to. Do 110%. I don't care if you're going to be a professor or a hoe. Whatever you do, give all of it.
2 snaps. Okay.
She ain't wrong.
She's not. If you're going to be on the hoe stroll, you better strut.
Because we all know it's real work out there.
For real.
It really is.
I don't know how many episodes I've said this, but I'm going to continue to say it. Support sex workers.
Yep.
Yes. Support the hell out of them.
If you love the content, love it enough to donate your funding.
Snap, snap, accuracy.
Absolutely.
Ooh, margaritas.
Thank you so much for everyone coming out. Is there any projects, social media, or anything you'd want to promote, or where can we find you?
Yes, I am Kat Lee, organizer for Justice for Desmond here in Chico. We have an event coming up this Friday, June 19th, a gathering for justice and healing. If you are unable to attend, please be sure you check us out on our Facebook page, Justice for Desmond, and keep bringing awareness to the enormous amount of police violence that has attacked Black and brown communities since the date of time.
That is beautiful. Lav, where can we find you?
At Lavender _ on Instagram, also on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really just trying to yeah. But I guess I just wanted to promote. I mean, on my Instagram page, there is like a post where you can send an email to get Layleen Polanco's case reopened. And she was a woman that died custody, like an Afro-Latinx woman, trans woman, and just trying to get the investigation reopened just so that she can get her justice. So there is a link on there to do an email. And I would say just to change up the subject line. And maybe if you want to add your own words, it's also valid. But yeah, just to and then there's also a lot more links to more emails in that post as well. So.
All right. Jazz, I already have your list because you were on the previous episode as well, but do you want to re-tag everything for those who may have missed it?
Sure. You can find me on Instagram at either at @themisadventuresofjaz, all one word, only one Z, or at Missjazthomas. You can also find me on Twitter at It's Just Giselle, JAZELLE. I don't really have anything to promote, but I do have to say, as a future educator, for all of my students, all of my educators, for anyone listening to this and wondering, don't ever stop learning. Don't ever stop getting information about what's going on, and be active. Be active in the situation. Don't ever be complacent in what the hell is going on. And if you need some recommendations on books to read, articles to check out, petitions to sign, Girl, you're going to want to DM me on Twitter because that's where I'm active right now. Baby.
You know what, damn it. How you going to close this out with another quote? With another quote?
Listen, Listen, I don't have any projects. I just got me trying to take a crowbar to the Eurocentrism of education's kneecaps.
I didn't even know I had forehead veins. You are making them come out.
You can totally punish me for it later.
You know what? I'm stressed. Thank you for everyone for tuning in to this episode. It has been me, La Rosa Negra, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Peace and love.
Okay.